Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lizard Brains podcast. I'm your host, DJ Allison Drini. I'm joined by my co-host, Tom O'Gorman. Tom, how's it going? Ooh, that was a nice wiggle.
Ooh, I feel like Shaq. Ooh, wiggling. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Do
you see we have a new media outlet in the winner's circle of using that music?
No, of our podcast intro music? I gotta start charging people for this. What?
I know. So before it was Reese's Pieces, Reese's Cups.
Yeah, it was
They had a commercial, right?
Yep, Reese Cups.
And now it's in a Bon Appetit cooking video.
Okay.
All the way from the top of their giant building in New York City, probably.
You know,
Condé Nast using our music.
You know, we do talk about food a lot, so it's kind of
I know
it's kind of fitting the space that we live in. Yep.
But I'm good. I'm having a Wednesday. You know how some Wednesdays are like extra Wednesday-y? Like, man, it's just the middle of the week.
This Wednesday's a Monday for me because I was so incapacitated yesterday that there was I was full potato for the whole day, Tom. My brain definitely wasn't going to do something that it didn't want to do because it didn't even want to do the stuff that I do want to do. It was,
I get that.
Like, look, I just came back from Spring Nationals, if this is the only episode you've ever listened to. And it was 5 days straight of autocross, which I will say, it did kind of do that one lap thing, Tom, where you wake up and you're like, another day where I compete. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So
I love that. Okay. So where's the fifth day come from?
Test and Tune.
Practice starts.
Me and Tamara were competing against each other in the Test and Tune. That was probably, honestly, Tom, that was probably the most serious competition of the whole weekend.
It sounded like you were holding down the practice course, like basically for the entire event. Was it was just you and the practice course, and you let other people use it sometimes?
No, not exactly. Hey, at one point, the Test and Tune broke out where I was just getting to drive other people's cars, which is always fun at the Test and Tune. So
that's what I mean. Do you know how many runs you did at the Test and Tune?
Well, so me and Tamara together did 20, and then I did 5 more, so 25.
A lot of runs. Is that what was I going to ask? Shoot, I just lost it. Is it the same course as the Nationals?
Mostly, yes. It was mostly the same course. So what happened is me and Tamara did 5 runs each, played with the shocks. We got the car into like a good driving window. We felt like good about it. And then we're out there working because in the Spring Nats Test and Tune, you have to go work the course. And we're out there like holding down the slalom for the most part. We did miss one cone, but we're holding down the slalom. Like anybody that hits a cone in the slalom, don't worry, we got it. And oh,
no friendly hot rodders?
No
you had
friendly.
To work the course?
Yeah, we had to work the course. So if you did 5 runs, you have to work the course for a half hour.
Okay.
So we're out there, we're working. We feel good. We're like, you know what? We're going to go into the competition tomorrow and everything's going to be great. And we had times that were timey. I don't know. Like, I forget what the times were.
There were 5 digits.
Yes. And then we saw, you did that quickly. I had to think about it.
I know.
But then we saw one of our fellow competitors, Garrett, in his S2000, go out there and beat us by 3/10. And me and Tamara, with like hardly any communication between us, we kind of like looked at each other. We're like, so we're doing more Test and Tune, right? Because we lost by like 3/10. We're like, oh, okay. Obviously, we have to like win Test and Tune. So we got 5 more runs each, and then got like more acquainted with the car and what it was going to give us, and yeah, and that was important for the next day. And Tom, we had the weirdest thing with the car that was happening, and we'll get into that. And it taught me a lot about this weekend. First off, Tamara taught me a lot this weekend, just her approach of when and how to make changes. I always kind of looked at it as like entry, middle, exit, mostly like that, kind of how the weight is moving on the vehicle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tamara like kind of broke up each of those sections into like basically 2. Like there was like phase 3A and phase 3B. I actually bought the book that she was referencing. I think it's called like Think Fast, something, whatever. I just saw like a screenshot that she sent me of the graph, and I'm like, all right, I gotta know this whole book. So I actually bought the book. It's like coming like in like 2 days or whatever.
Okay.
Because Tamara she was like, she looked like a prophet. She's like, I'm gonna adjust this, and this is what it's gonna change in the car because the exit of phase 2B, it was doing this behavior. And then I'd be like, okay, I don't know, that doesn't really make any sense to me. And then she would like go over there and adjust the knobs, and then it would do exactly what she said. And I was like, okay. So like very quickly it was like, in Tamara we trust, like whatever Tamara says like is what we do.
Sure.
Yeah. So I just relied completely on Tamara like for like the rest of the weekend on like setup changes, and she was so useful and helpful, like teaching me and patient. Yeah, it was that was like I learned a ton from that. But one thing that we didn't look into, because I threw the stiffer rear springs in, like I talked about on the last episode, and I did like a calculation to make sure that the rake was the same. Something was missed in the calculation because eventually I found out that I had way too much rake in the car. Because what we were experiencing is that the car would be driving fine for one session and then just really different the next session. And it was just really perplexing how sensitive the car was. Because one moment it would be doing exactly everything you wanted. And then the next moment you're like, I don't know anything this car's doing. And I think like temperature changes, like the surface is more rubbered in or not rubbered in or whatever would kind of send it out of this like narrow window that it lived in because the shocks were controlling bad behavior. And the bad behavior was because we had a 1/4 inch more rake than we anticipated having. And apparently these cars are pretty sensitive on rake. So yeah, Anthony makes a joke, must have been waxing crescent moon. I was making like Mercury's in retrograde. Like I was making all sorts of like jokes of like the stars are out of misalignment. So now the car's an evil, diabolical like monster. Like, cause it just wasn't making any sense. But unfortunately, it took me the whole weekend to figure that out. And I found it on Monday, and then the car drove like completely normal and easy again on Monday. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a shame that it took me that long to figure it out. And I'm kicking myself because I threw those springs in there and I just 100% trusted the calculation. And knowing that not possibly every single variable like bushing bind and this and that and unsprung weight versus like I'm kicking myself for not just dropping the car, going to drive it around, and then just measuring it in my driveway because my garage isn't very flat. So I wouldn't get like an accurate measurement anyways, but I have spots on my driveway where I could have done that. And I just didn't think about it. I was in a hurry. I was very busy last week. And it took me the whole weekend to find like an issue that kind of, I think I competed and drove great. But I feel like part of my learning curve of street touring was being shown by like just not identifying that issue essentially.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, guys, DJ and DJ never call, we don't call each other. We don't talk on the phone. When DJ calls me, it's usually because
I'm on fire.
or I've gone missing for like 8 hours and he's like, hey, are you like, the podcast was supposed to happen an hour ago. That's happened before.
Yeah.
So when he called me, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And
Yeah.
he had just, I need to talk to somebody about the setup of this car. This is what it's doing. And I did my best to like, just ask questions and keep the conversation going and maybe do some like diagnoses if I could get like a consistency in the answers. But it did sound like we have this moving target. I have no idea how to find it.
Yeah, dude. Moving target. That's the best way to put it. It's like, and I've driven plenty of ST cars and I was just confused why like it would just change its behavior so drastically. Like they changed their behavior a little bit with like changing conditions and temperature and stuff like that. But this was like, oh my God, the car drives great. Don't touch anything. To like, what is this thing doing? So yeah, it was very weird.
Can you diagnose or can you reverse engineer why too much rake was fine sometimes and not others? Because we talked about the temperatures of the day, but there were times where it was fine in the hot and fine in the cold, and vice versa. Do you have any reason why it felt fine other than maybe you were managing it better as a driver at some points?
With my limited understanding, like I'm still leaning on Tamara. I'm still like sending Tamara messages, like asking like, what about this or that? Or like I noticed that there's 2 caster settings on the top hats for the car steps kit. And we're on the lower caster setting for some reason. And I'm like, oh, what does that do? So like I'm like now like everyone who I messaged about the caster thing, I'm just guys, I am cashing in some whatever cred because I'm just bugging the crap out of so many people right now, asking all sorts of questions. I have like 20 group chats going, like just freaking ambushing people with questions because like I just came out of the weekend like even more insanely curious about like what do I need to do to get this thing to be the best driving car it possibly can be in the largest operational window as possible so it's not super sensitive because if we show up at nationals with a car that is a little unwieldy, we lose. It just has to show up and be perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be perfectly fine. You know what I mean?
That's a good quote. Okay.
It doesn't need to be like, damn, I would literally change nothing. It just has to be, you know what? We can use this and we can put some runs together.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Um,
So
it
hold
sounds
on.
like you've gone through most of the window with this car at this point, though.
Kinda, yeah. I feel like we're slowly getting there, but
You guys are making really quick work of it.
yeah, we're changing a lot of stuff on the car too, though. So, hold on, let me read this comment from Lugod about Caster. It makes the twins feel better, but hurts corner exit on slow corners. Quoted for later. He's gonna like link that when I come back and be like, the Caster felt great, but we were slower. So I don't know.
I've started using this line in commentary that you don't have to be the perfect driver, but you have to be more perfect than everybody else
Yeah,
to win. I've said that a couple times now. That's kind of the same as your quote. It doesn't need to be a perfect race car, but it needs to be perfectly fine. It can't
perfectly
be not
fine.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think what was controlling and this is like I said, this is pure speculation, and if anybody like knows more, then please like chime in on the chat.
Uh-oh.
But I think with the shocks, they were controlling the excess rake, like especially between like the front rebound and the rear compression. They were controlling the behavior of like the swinging of the weight well. But if it got too hot or like if there wasn't enough gas in the tank, then it would move out of that like that small window that it felt like operational and we could like manage the car.
Oh,
And
okay.
then it would just like turn into like a little bit of a death machine.
Yeah. The only other thought I had is that maybe the extra rake was like fine and not noticeable in early runs as you were learning, but in the moments where you like really needed to push, because it was creating really late corner exit oversteer.
Yeah.
But like for too long, it made it look like the car had like way too much power or something. Which rake is more ride height in the back than the front, which that will create more rotation all the time in the corner phase, including all the way to the time the wheel's straight.
Yeah.
It's a huge tuning tool for front wheel drive cars for sure, but not so much rear wheel drive. It's more of a balance thing for those.
I think just the minuscule change we made and the way it felt, I think I'll be using rake to like help fine tune the balance of the car actually a lot. But just little changes like a half a turn of the collar or a quarter of a turn, because the 2 turns that I made completely changed the car. And I'd like to try it actually with like another turn down and see what that feels like. Like maybe we could throw a little bit more rear bar at it. Just like to play with what window does the car go in with like specific amounts of rake. And if we feel like it's a little too tight on entries, then we could throw a little bit of rake in it, like, you know, specific shapes of corners, stuff like that. So I do think that we'll be using it as like a tuning tool. And I'm glad that I got to experience like the freaking drastic, like we'll never be in that window zone of it. But having that sensation, because I play with rake a lot in iRacing, but I don't have that sensation of like what it feels like in a real car, like as like part of my experience, or what it feels like when it's too much. And I experienced that. So I think experiencing that will like help me have that be like a tool for the future.
That's cool. And you got a second place and a
third.
Yes. Nice. Couple of trophies.
Yep. Got a couple of medals. Be honest, I don't know exactly where they are, but I'm sure they're somewhere in that car.
Damn, you heard it here first. DJ doesn't care about his trophies. They mean nothing.
I just wanted the win. I wanted the respect and admiration of my peers, damn it.
Oh, I have another question to be an autocross dork for a second. What's the energy like with this class? It's basically current generation twins.
Yep.
Honda S2000s, and NC Miatas.
I'll
Those are
have,
the three contenders that people are like in the conversation.
yep.
What does anybody care about? Like the S2000 won. There was an NC that was really competitive at DC last week, right?
Yep.
Do you think if S2000s and NCs start winning, do you think they're going to do something about that because they like the new cars being competitive? Because most people are in GR86s and like the new car. But I kind of like that everybody's like tempted to go get an NC. Like, oh, that's the faster car, but no one puts their money where their mouth is. It's everybody with GR86 is saying that.
I mean, look, when Garrett won the tour in his S2000, there was definitely some S2000 OP jokes being thrown around. OP
Sure.
stands for overpowered. But yeah, so Taylor says S2000 dominance may bore fans, like, and he says that is like a catchy news headline, not like actual truth. Honestly, the class, the culture of it is really good.
Cool.
It's just
I like
full
hearing
of
that.
yeah, it's just full of all these slayers, but dude, honestly, it was so much fun. We were having all these like fun little competition jokes, like when it was raining for the pro. I was saying, like, I was joking around with everyone that we're gonna add up all the sessions, and that's who the real winner is. So it didn't come down to just like one session of like winning the thing. We still haven't
Yeah.
added it up, but we kept joking around about it like
Oh, there's a spreadsheet for that.
we should figure it out. We should figure it out. Somebody figure it out real quick.
Autocrossers are you?
Yeah. Somebody figure it out real quick, please. But like somebody would cone out of all like the second session, and we'd make jokes like, "Well, that isn't helping the total like tally," or stuff like that.
Yes.
Or I remember at one point, me and Garrett, we had to go park in Impound, and he parked one way, and I parked the other way, like just facing different ways. And I was like, "Which way should we be parked?" And he says, "I think it's this way." And I'm like, "Well, I think it's this way. All right, we're gonna tally up which direction most people go in, and we'll add that to the overall bracket of like we were just having fun, just being like competitive lizards, and even though it's very competitive, I was like the McKelfies still let me take a tape measure to their car when I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on with my car. Like I was measuring like droop, so we were putting their car on jacks, and like it was very open because everyone just wants to get better. Like I felt like everyone was in a healthy space with the competition of just like rising tide raises all boats kind of mindset, and we all just wanted to compete our best and drive our best. And if we could help somebody else do that as well, then that only makes us better, right? Like I felt like that was very, and maybe that was just a me perspective, but that's how I felt. That's how I felt like everyone was. And it was great. And I think that's super good for the class. And except Lou God, who's saying no helping all secrets, even though like Lou God literally helps me. So
Yeah.
but like I think that's a really important sign for a good like the longevity of a class where people are collaborative. And like because at some point like we're gonna move away from, even if like we don't move away long, like we're gonna move away from this like small pond that is autocross, and we're gonna go compete in other things or other classes or whatever. And if we get as good as we can in this particular moment, then we take those skills and the things that we've learned from each other, and we take those to the next whatever we're doing.
You're better at that than I am, as I told during the one episodes. But I do find it interesting. I think about this every once in a while when I'm like, if I spend some time in SCCA land, both with autocross and road racing, actually. But given the lack of like, it's all backed by like historical results, and there is quote unquote data involved. But the fact that they can still have a class like this class, which is like affordable sports cars that are still faster than the NBs, but not the, they fit these cars together, especially in street where it's like the Camaro and the Mustang. If Ford and Chevy didn't make those cars almost identical, that class wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But managed to like stylize the classes so they have the personality, but also like the cars that people go to, that are all competitive, and somehow people are still convinced that some are better and some are worse. Versus, in contrast to this, like a lot of NASA or grid life stuff is power to weight. So in theory, all the cars can get to the same performance level. SCCA's is hardly that at all. And the fact that they can manage street cars being competitive in classes like this
I
is like
mean,
a huge, it's such a huge challenge. I can't, like I said, I know it's just sort of like established itself into what it is now and they
yeah,
fix it constantly. But the fact that you could be in 3 different cars in this class is cool.
it is. Yeah.
But it is also like such a toxic possibility like, where everyone gets mad at one of them or someone feels left out or left behind. I know that happens all the time, but
I mean,
it's just cool that they still manage it that way almost.
I could see a
It's cool that it
scenario
works.
where you need a 20-year-old S2000 to be competitive in CST, and that is like not good for the class, right? Like I could see that scenario because like if the S2000 was like absolutely the best car for the class and anybody else is just like bringing a butter knife to a knife fight, like I could see that not being good for the class.
Right,
But
the argument could be made.
yeah, but I think they're all kind of within the noise and they kind of come down to like course dependency on some level, but at the same time I think they're pretty close. Uh like I got to take runs in the S2000 and I set basically the same time. Granted that was like in my one run in the car and maybe I could have went a little bit faster, but I went a couple tenths slower than I did in the GR86 in my first run. So I think like another run or two, like I would have been right there. But then also like the S2000 is just like more developed than me and Peter's GR86 at the moment. Like
Right.
that car's had 20 years of development. So we're still figuring it out. We're still trying to figure out like what's important, what's not important. So I don't know.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see where it'll go. But dude, I had so much fun. I think Spring Nats needs to happen. That needs to just be like the norm. Have you been to Spring Nats, Tom?
It's been the norm for over 10 years. What are you talking about?
That's my first time going to Spring Nats though. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, it's I used to do spring nuts all the time back when I was autocrossing primarily, but it's super fun. It's like all the tryhards without a lot of the one time a yearers, you
Yeah.
know?
'Cause
So
I-
it's like
you-
what, probably 3 or 400 people there total instead of 1,200, but it's like everybody who's there is either they live in Lincoln, Nebraska for some reason,
Yeah,
or they're
for
like they're
some
trying
reason.
really hard at autocross.
It really was. It was all like the Whitney rude.
Yeah, sorry. Hastings is better than Lincoln, I'll just say it.
Is it?
Did I win it back? Did I save it, Whitney?
No. No, she's typing. You'll see a bit. Okay, that's what she
Okay,
said.
good save. Phew.
But yeah, it was just I've never been to Spring Nats and it was like a very condensed nationals. And I will say by the end of it, and I hope I did a good job announcing on Monday. But guys, I was freaking toast by Monday. My autocross hungover started and I was still autocrossing. Like it was bad. Like I was trying to announce and in between, like when cars would be running, I'd just be squeezing my eyeballs as tight as
Yeah.
possible because it felt like my headache was gonna like shove my eyes out of my head. Like it was
Yeah.
bad. It luckily held off for the runs, but then immediately after the runs, I came off that high because we were first group. I came off that high and was just like, I feel like I just need to bury my head in a cooler. Like that's what it felt like.
Oh, it was hot?
No, I just felt like crap. I was like
Just no.
nauseous and like so
Yeah.
like I might have missed when Matarash took the lead in Cam T because I remember like at one point the results came up and I was like I thought to myself, when did he take the lead? And I'm like, oh, I'm the announcer. I should know that. Like I was like I was like, oh, I felt like myself like I think somebody told me that I did say something, but I don't remember. Like I was just in a
Yeah.
haze. I felt so messed up. I felt like impaired.
From doing more commentary now, there's 2 things. One is whenever that happens and you miss like someone else is in the lead and you know, especially the person who's watching it either for themselves or for their family who's on that they're screaming at the TV like he took the lead, talk
Yeah,
about him. You know,
I know, I
like you know
know.
you miss that moment for somebody, which sucks.
I know.
But also you can tell when your co-commentator isn't listening because you'll kind of run through something, and I guarantee I do it too. I kind of run through like, oh, and this person took the lead while we weren't watching, da 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 da, and I stop talking, and the other person will go, Oh, and it looks like during the last conversation, someone took the lead, and I just said that, but both of us are catching up while
Yeah,
listening
yeah,
and talking.
At least both of us missed it.
Yep.
But
That's so cool. I have FOMO now because I most of my really try hard autocrossing was during the years that I worked at the go-kart track, which we didn't have any sort of like super formal policy, and I was hourly for like half the time I worked there. But I was autocrossing. It's kind of like my pattern to just like take almost every Friday off in the summer when there were autocrosses because I either had to drive to them or they started on that day.
yeah.
And I think the most I did one year was 12 national events, and it felt like that every weekend. It was like so hard to get back to work and get back to
Oh my
normal.
God.
And you were like, you stayed up all night the day before to get home or whatever.
Yep. I'm still
People don't know.
recovering.
How do you go back to the office and people just don't know?
They just don't know. I'm over here just doing HVAC stuff, and these people don't even know that I'm a race car driver. Ugh. Some of them know.
Salil brings his trophies to his office for a week,
Does he?
which I think is super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be like this. I did a motorsports event this weekend and I won and I got a trophy and I'm going to put it in my office for a week.
Yeah. Well, my office
That's
is
cool.
also in my house, so I don't know.
It's
That
different.
wouldn't
Yeah.
really. Yeah, that wouldn't really work.
I'm trying to think if I didn't know Salil, if I would still think that's cool. Or if I didn't do
Probably.
motorsports.
Well,
Probably not,
The
but
thing is
whatever.
like nobody has context. Like everyone just thinks like, oh, you do NASCAR.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of NASCAR, Rip Kyle Busch, like that is
Pure talent, baby.
dude, I love that interview. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, it's just like pneumonia just took him out.
Yep.
That was just a wild. I mean, it kind of shows like none of us actually know how much time we have left to do the things that we love and love doing. So like, just do the things. Don't wait. Don't like wait for some other time to do the thing. Just like go do the thing. Go do it. Like don't wait for something. You don't even know like whatever time is left.
Yep.
So
I didn't know this because I haven't followed NASCAR really seriously ever in my life. Even though I followed enough to know who the people are, apparently he was the most winning driver in NASCAR, the sanctioning body ever.
really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I don't really
Someone fact check me, but I saw that on the internet, so I believe it's true.
I don't really follow NASCAR either, but I feel like anytime somebody like even that one dude who I'm blanking on his name who died at Nürburgring in that during the 24-hour race, like anytime somebody in the larger motorsports community kind of bites the dust, like I think it hits a little closer to home because you're like, damn, that person isn't too far different from me. Like,
Yeah.
we all had the same ambitions and we think about the same things in our idle time and yeah. So, but back to spring Nats.
I wonder who is the most winningest driver is in the sanctioning body of SCCA or NASA or Grid Life.
We could find out. We got autocross rank.
I think it would be an autocrosser.
Oh yeah, probably just more events, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you count locals?
No, so they said that
okay,
he's the
okay.
winningest driver across the top 3 series, so Cup, Xfinity, and Trucks,
Okay.
with 234 wins. That's a lot of wins. But imagine you were every national race you ran, whether it's an autocross, a time trial, a club race, whether you're in time attack or whether you're in wheel to wheel, GLTC, Rush, whatever, whether you're in like Lightning. NASA doesn't really autocross anymore. Are you going to try to figure it out live on the air? He's Googling.
Nope, that's
Are you on ChatGPT?
no.
Yes.
ChatGPT wouldn't know this. I'm trying to figure out if
It would tell you something you want to hear.
Yeah, I'm trying to
It
figure
would be
out.
like, yes, DJ, you are among the winningest drivers in SCCA. You are among the top 0.02%.
Yeah, I was hoping I could pull like a CSV of autocross rank, and then I could like organize the database that they have by like amount of wins.
Yeah.
But I can't. There's Lugat just says it's Bob Endicott. How does he know that? How do you know that?
I could believe that. He club raced and pro raced and other stuff.
But
anyway, I think it'd be cool to know, and I wonder who that person is. And I bet they're an autocrosser for SCCA.
And I bet
I bet they do road racing and stuff too. You have to do multiple disciplines to be in the conversation, I think.
Okay. Maybe. Okay, is this just the Tom Award? Tom, you got to figure out who gets the Tom Award.
The
Lizard,
Tom, like the goat, but it's the Tom. I got to come up with an analogy
yeah,
or an acronym.
two, uh, somebody think of something. Somebody in the chat, let us know what
And,
acronym Tom makes.
I didn't have anything exciting this weekend. I spent time with family and just kind of hung out. I played a lot of Forza Horizon 6.
Yeah, you're digging that
To be
game.
honest, honestly, I've never played Forza Horizon before with friends.
Yeah,
Every other time I played 4 heavily, but only by myself, and 5 some and only by myself. And the fact that we're like all locked in on it together, like the other night, I think last night we
Dude.
had 12 people online playing together.
yeah.
And
I
it's
jumped
so
into
much more
Discord.
fun to play with friends, and it's already pretty fun to play by yourself.
I jumped into Discord just to be like, oh, there's somebody like chatting or whatever. And I look at the channel and there's like 14 people just hanging out, just playing Forza Horizon. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, this is rivaling like Halo days of like people getting together to like play games
Yeah.
together. Yeah. I was like, all right, cool. I wish I could partake, but like I love that it's happening in the Lizard Brains Discord. Like it's so awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is how I feel every time I see a group of people play iRacing that I'm skipping because I hate iRacing. Oh, it's also been since prior to One Lap since I sat in this sim rig.
I don't know why that's a sense of pride for you, but
It's not a sense of pride. It's a fun fact. I don't know why I have literally less than 0 interest in getting in this sim rig right now.
yeah.
I think that Porsche did ruin me.
You know, I got second and third this weekend, so already sat down in the rig. I had to do some laps, Tom. There's no way I could just let that go. You think I could just let that slide? Losing? Oh my goodness. Come on.
How'd you break the seal? Did you come home and drive a GR86?
No, I was doing data laps for coaching.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Which one of those was a GR86 on Bathurst, which is like an interesting track for that track, but yeah, there's I thought about doing a race, but none of them looked particularly interesting. So maybe I was kind of in the Tom camp.
Yeah, it happens. I don't know. I literally picture myself getting in the sim rig and being mad at it in the next 10 minutes, and I don't want to do that to myself right now. That's the kind of emotional
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
like checklist that I go through. Like, do I want to race with my friends on Monday night? Yeah. I think I'm probably going to be mad in about 10 minutes if I get in there. I don't really feel like being mad.
Oh,
I'll
come
play
on.
Forza again.
I got to figure out a way to ruin Forza for you. It's kind of like Call of Duty used to be a distraction from Halo. So I would go in and just play the most annoying way possible to try to get my like teammates to stop playing Call of Duty. So I would do like for the Call of Duty nerds, you do like claymores and one man army and with like the noob tube, and you would just be an absolute menace. So basically, Tom, to break it down, one man army meant that you could like switch your class over and over again, which would like replenish your ammo. So you could just spam the noob tube, which is like a grenade launcher on the like on a rifle, and you would just spam it into the spawn, so you know the trajectory and the arc and the cloud that you have to aim at to shoot it into their spawn. And you would just keep switching classes and just spamming this, and you just be killing people in their spawn, and you get kill streaks. And it's like it was absolutely the most annoying way to play. But what it would do is it would get my friends back on Halo. So,
You just ruined the game.
yeah, I would just ruin the game.
My parents and your parents both have no freaking clue what you just said. I
Yep.
think I followed though. Spamming the spawn with a nude tube.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's what a sentence. What a sentence. That's
that was
crazy.
The thing. That was the thing. And it was just to get people to come back on Halo because that's what I actually wanted to play.
Right.
So I got to figure out my one man army noob tube strat for Forza Horizon. So Tom comes and plays iRacing with me again.
I think it's either a giant truck, like a semi truck, or a limousine. You just ruined the game by ramming us with that.
Yep. Oh,
But yeah, otherwise, I don't have anything life changing to talk about on the podcast. But you had a good topic idea.
I did. First, I need to put out a public service announcement. We are trying to get Tamara to come on the podcast. So if you guys could bug her to come on the podcast, that would be great. So
damn,
because Tamara has like spending the
she's literally
weekend.
listening right now.
I know
Probably
she's
like
in the
crawling
audience.
inside of her skin.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm so sorry, Tamara.
Sorry,
You don't
Tamara.
deserve this. But she, you can absolutely tell why she's like a top tier competitor. Like just like her work ethic and her attention to detail. And she has like this, she does this, she can recall the runs that she does like super vividly. Uh, and I, me and Tamara had tons of interesting conversations about competing, the journey versus like the results. Yeah, it's just I think the podcast would enjoy those conversations. So if you maybe just give some positive encouragement, and maybe we'll get Tamara on the podcast at some point. And if not, that's fine. That's fine. I will share those insights all on my own.
It is so fun to get to work with somebody else who gets it.
Yes.
And like, because there's beauty in every dynamic with a team, but if one driver is significantly more comfortable than another, it's a totally different dynamic than when you get two people who are on the same page and get it in a way that not as much time is spent like looking back on what someone is doing, really, almost, and like trying to help them on their journey.
Yeah. It was such a collaborative.
Maybe that's it. Maybe you're kind of in a similar spot on your journey, that you're just like you're walking together further forward instead of like looking back and making sure the other person's with you on the journey. How's that for that feels like a Lord of the Rings picture right there.
Maybe it was such a collaborative effort, just with the like our overall competitiveness. It was super fun. So thank you to Peter Schnorr for letting me steal the car, take it halfway across the country, and then have somebody else drive it with me. Because that experience was it was super good, and it was super beneficial to me as a driver, as somebody who's playing with the tuning mechanisms of the car, and as a competitor. So thank you, Tamara, and thank you, Peter, for allowing that to happen. Because if I don't think Tamara would have flew out to Lincoln to drive my Miata on lowering springs. So, all right. I did have another conversation with somebody over just the last weekend's things, and I pulled some of the things that were talked about in that conversation, and I made like a little rubric for us to kind of talk about stuff, and it was kind of in the same vein of like some of the conversations that me and Tamara were having. And the person said that they're perfectly fine with me outing them, but I'm not going to. So sorry, Taylor. Just kidding. All right. So the podcast like talking points is the journey versus the result, and the opening topic is competing through adversity. So one of the things that was happening this weekend was like the car shifting its behavior like drastically, right? If you were only focused on the results, that could be really infuriating. And trust me, it was like, it was really frustrating, that like not having a handle on what was happening. But if you take the mindset of having it being part of the journey, then there's just something there to learn. Right. And now it's not as frustrating. It's like a mystery to be figured out. If you imagine like a puzzle in a video game and you get to it and it's like, why isn't the door just open? It's like, well, you got to solve the puzzle before the door opens. And you're like, well, that's annoying that the door's not open. Right. That wouldn't be very fun. But if it's like, oh, this is a puzzle to solve and we got to figure out like all the working pieces and then eventually like the quote unquote door will be open, then like that's a more enjoyable journey into that process than just being annoyed that like the thing that you wanted to happen didn't happen, essentially. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. Yeah. I think we come back to this around this topic every once in a while. And you've always been it seems like you've always been super good at identifying when you're doing the process. Yeah. And like, you're always excited about getting better at like, and I think it boils down to where I'm not that way. And I think it boils down to, I don't know if it's how you face adversity or how self-aware you are. I don't know. 'Cause I deal with those situations much more emotionally, and I've not been great at dealing with them sometimes. I tend to quit is really my default. Like if it's something I don't like and I'm not good at it, I probably quit it. And I know plenty of people are like that, so I'm not like ashamed of that, but I don't like that about myself. And the thing that I figured out is if I observe that that's happening, if I observe that I'm in the process, then I get much better at dealing with the process. Where it seems like you've always just had that. Is that true? I don't
I
remember if you've said this before, if you've had to learn to be this way.
I think I had to learn to be that way. And I think I figured that out while competing in Halo because
Mm,
I mean, there's millions of people playing that game. You're never just going to be like a dominant force, right? It's kind of the same thing like in iRacing. Like you're never just going to be a dominant force. Like there's always going to be somebody that just drives away from you, and you have to deal with it. Like the deal with the fact that you're like, I literally don't know what to do to go faster, and that person is literally just driving away from me. Because if you have like ideas of how you could be faster, it's way less frustrating than if you're just like, I think I'm doing a great job and obviously I'm not, right?
wait, say that part again?
If you were in a vacuum and you're doing laps and you're like, these are really good laps, and then somebody comes in and goes a second faster than you in the same, like same everything, like same car, same setup,
Yeah,
same everything. And you're the only thing that it could point to is that you're actually not doing a great job. That
correct.
that sucks. And that
It
feels
does
bad.
suck. Yeah,
And that
it
feels
does
bad.
feel
Yes, it
you just
does.
described every time I joined the iRacing server before you, that you joined after.
But I think so part of this discussion that I was having is that it I think we should feel like that every once in a while. Uh Not all the time. I don't think that's healthy to stay in that space all the time. Like I think we need to go and kind of, for the lack of better term, like we need to club some seals every once in a while and feel like we're a little bit competent, right?
Sure.
And to like basically, and I'm reusing this from a conversation is you if you really want ice cream, but like really good ice cream, so like a win in a really hard class, that's what I'm equating this to. If you just never have ice cream, but like you're just chasing that really good ice cream, at some point you're not even going to crave ice cream anymore because you don't even remember what it's like. So you kind of have to like go and do
No,
some
interesting
like
analogy.
you kind of have to go
Okay.
like do some smaller events or have ice cream that maybe isn't that super awesome, amazing ice cream, but it's still ice cream to remember what it tastes like. So you still crave it. So you still have the motivation to go chase that lucrative, amazing gourmet ice cream. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
So I still think and we've called in the past, we've called those like reset events where you kind of just
Palate cleansers.
palate cleansers. Yes, that's what we were calling it.
Although I call those slightly different in that you need to do something else. It's not that you need to go remind yourself that you're still kind of good.
Yeah,
That can be the same thing,
it can.
but you're kind of saying like, how would you apply this practically?
I
You have
think
to go back to an HPDE every once in a while to remind yourself that your fifth place finishes in club racing mean you're still faster than most people in the world. Is that like a fair
I
it's
think
kind of a rude analogy, but
and I think well here how about this? How about this? I think it's more you need to put yourself in situations outside of just being just like in the slog and feeling like that feeling, and I don't know if there's a name for it, but that feeling of I think I'm doing a great job, but then that person just made it evident that I'm not, right? Because that is a bad feeling. And I think if we sit in that feeling too long, it becomes it's almost becomes unmotivating. I think in certain
yeah.
doses that like wow, there's still a second out there that like I could be figuring it out. I think that's can be highly motivating. But if it happens too often, then it feels like uh you might start to think, oh, I'm never going to get there. And we've talked about on this podcast before where the belief that you will get to that thing that you're chasing is it's sometimes the most important part of the journey or the process or whatever, because that belief is the thing that drives you to put in that extra effort, to put in that motivation, to do a once over on the car, even though like you're already sick of being in the garage, or to walk the course again, even though you're like tired from the previous day or whatever, right? Like it will drive you to take that next little bit because if you genuinely believe that you can achieve the thing that you're going after, then you're way more likely to put in the effort that is required to achieve that thing.
Totally. So this was all your jumping off point with the person who you're not revealing?
I did reveal it. It was Taylor.
I know.
Okay. Sorry, I revealed it again. Dang it. Oh,
Got him. I'm only asking because I don't know where you are on the notes, to be honest.
Okay. No,
But
I
was
I
that
gave
the
up
whole
on the notes.
conversation, or was that
No,
the jumping off
I
point?
gave up on the notes. That was kind of the jumping off point where then we talked about basically like instead of going to an event where like your goal is like I'm gonna come here and drive good, the goal should be I'm here to learn, and that like the being a sponge of information is always gonna net a better result, even if you're not thinking about the result. That will always net a better result than like just trying to drive as good as you can, because I think there's like a something with the mindset switch where if we stay flexible enough to take in new information, we're just going to compete better. And I don't know exactly what that is, but in situations where you're just kind of really open to all like feedback and not being stuck or not having any kind of ego about like this is the way it needs to happen, or this is the way like I envision this happening or whatever. If you just stay really flexible, then you're more likely to have a more successful event. Whether that is the results or just what you took away from the event for future results or whatever, right? Does that make sense?
It does. What about you compared like the I'm gonna go drive well, I'm gonna go drive good,
GUD,
versus I'm gonna go learn good,
good.
drive good. I think there's a third. I'm curious if you think it's true and how many there are, but I think
Okay.
there are people who go, I'm gonna go see what I get.
Yeah,
Which to me
that
implies
could
a
work
lack of a
too.
plan or a lack of an understanding of how to influence the outcome. It just
True.
feels in a way that they're verbalizing and manifesting that they don't have any control over the result, but I'm gonna go see what I get.
Uh, I do think there's something to that. Like when I'm in a challenge, I don't feel like I have any control over anything that happens. I'm just gonna go do laps. And I don't
Sure.
know if like me, I could listen to an argument that tells me that that's like actually the wrong approach. I would listen to that
Yeah.
argument. But to me, like relinquishing that control over the situation takes a lot of pressure off of a potentially pressure filled situation.
Yeah, and I say that as a negative, like this person I'm describing. I hear people I do this too, I'm sure at some times, but whenever I hear somebody talking about how they're just gonna see what they get kind of thing, I view that as a negative in that they don't seem to have like a plan or a like an approach or a strategy or a checklist, or like there's no, and I'm sure there is. I'm sure that there's still basic concepts if I think about from an autocross specific. An autocrosser would say this to me, and to me that means they don't even like have a game plan of how to backside key cones, or like how they spend their time on their course walk or something. And I'm sure
Yeah.
they do. So that's how I read it. But maybe the way you just said it is more of a positive. You're like they're relinquishing the pressure of like, maybe I get what I get, but I'm still going to go do my best.
Yeah,
That makes
exactly.
it sound like there's way more of a plan involved.
Yes. But I'm still going to do my best. I think that's the important
Yeah.
like side
How
note
many
on
people
there.
do you think the person I'm describing exists, or am I not giving people enough credit?
I think the like I'm gonna get what I'm gonna get, and not the like the PS. I'm still gonna do my best like end note on it. I
Yeah.
think those might be like people that are purely there just for like they get more out of like the social aspect of autocross, and there's plenty of people there, and like I love that like everyone gets something out of autocross. Like not everyone at an autocross event is like a competitive like lizard that is like trying to min max every possible thing ever.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think autocross would be way less compelling if the whole audience was just a bunch of lizards, right? Like you need the people that like are the life of the party, and that yeah, everyone knows the people I'm talking about. So yeah, I think those people are just as important to the community as the people who are constantly pushing the envelope and like what's possible. Uh I think they all have their place, but but on this podcast we talk about like trying to maximize human performance, right? So
We're
Um,
min-maxing the run to lunch between the sessions.
yeah, yeah. Dude, I will
I
say
can't help it.
I did min max in between my work assignment. I packed up the entire car and it was with the trailer hooked up, like ready to leave after my work assignment. And I literally left the announce thing and went straight to the car and I almost got home. I almost got home the same day. Maybe if I slept better the whole weekend, I could have, but around like midnight, I had to get a hotel in Toledo. It was an hour and a half from my house, Tom. I couldn't make it.
That's a good choice, but damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'd be so annoyed if my body was letting me down. Did you
uh,
try the lights on thing?
no, dude, my brain was just fading.
Oh,
I lost my mountain bike. Uh, the trailer on Peter's his tire trailer had a mountain
what?
bike like setting.
Okay.
It's gone, Tom. And
Oh no.
Tamara, thank goodness, gave me a positive way to look at this because in my brain it was ruminating that there was a mountain bike on the highway and somebody with a motorcycle came by and had a terrible accident. And Tamara was like, "No, somebody saw a mountain bike and went, oh, cool, a nice mountain bike, and now they have an awesome mountain bike." So that's what we're going
Yeah,
with. I looked at the news. I didn't see anything bad. Hopefully, nothing bad happened. It wasn't malicious. If law enforcement is listening to this, um,
that's so funny.
but
I was thinking the same thing.
I was
Like someone
driving.
got a nice bike. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, okay, good. All right. I'm glad you and Tam are on the same page because I was thinking doom and gloom. Um, but it I lost it probably for like an hour and didn't notice. And I was like, if I didn't notice a piece of the trailer fall off, I should probably stop.
Dude, I did the first time I put wheels on my wheels on my tire trailer with my first autocross car ever as like a 17-year-old.
Did you lose them?
I had no idea how ratchet straps work, so I just did my best. And yeah, I didn't lose them. I noticed they were all leaned over and slumped, and one was like cocked out over
Oh
the
my
fender.
god.
But I probably drove most of the way that way because they were not ratchet
All right, so
strapped
Tom,
properly.
on the way there, I must have not tightened because you take the front wheel off and then you put the forks on a thing and you like tighten it down like you would with the mountain bike wheel, like with one of those
Uh-huh.
cam things. And I must have not tightened it enough, or maybe the vibration through the trailer or whatever. At some point, a truck flashes lights at me, and I went, "Oh, what's going on?" And I look in my mirror, and I see sparks flying around behind me. And my mountain bike was still attached, and I'm like, "Oh!" So I like pull off to the side of the road, and I put the mountain bike back on, and I like really crank it down, and everything's great. That's not what happened when I actually, because then I went to nationals or spring nats, and everything was fine. And I just drove around on my mountain bike that was missing front brake pads because the caliper got ground away, but like it was still a perfectly functioning mountain bike. On the way home, the whole thing that the mountain bike was on just fell off the trailer. So the
No.
vibrations going through the trailer must be insane. If I have time, I almost want to take the whole trailer apart and Loctite everything on it so Peter doesn't have any issues because the bike was secure on it. I literally lifted up half of the trailer with the bike and went, "Yep, that ain't going anywhere." I think I even slapped it, Tom. And, and it just disappeared at some point. Yeah, so she gone, and
Oh,
hopefully
bummer.
somebody has a very nice mountain bike.
That makes me think of two stories for one lap. They're quick.
Okay.
One of them was when we had our flat tire and we're getting our time wasted at that Firestone. And two of our other friends had stopped, and it's three Porsches, and one's on a jack with the wheel off, and then there's one with a trailer. And this guy comes up and he pulls like right up to us to the point where he's like almost bumper to bumper with one of the cars. And he yells out the window and he goes, "Hey," and he points to the trailer, which has one bike on it, and goes, "Did you used to have two of those?" And they're like, "No." And he goes, "Oh, I just saw one on the side of the road. And I wondered if it was yours, but all right, have a nice one." And he backs away. No comment of the cars, no extra questions. It was like,
That was
in
very
hindsight, it was a beautiful
that was
interaction
very
because he didn't
nice.
waste any. I know, but at the time, we're like, really, nothing about these cars? Or like,
Yeah.
how did you just correlated the bike to this right here?
There was part of me that was hoping like when I woke up from the hotel that somebody would have been like, "Hey, I noticed you lost this," and it would just like be kind of leaning against the trailer or
Yeah.
whatever. Because I bought that bike. I had a really good week at work as a waiter, and I was like, I'm getting myself a new bike because I had like an old mountain bike, and I was like really getting into mountain biking.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna go buy myself a new bike, and I went and bought it. It was like, I don't know, like $400 back in like 2011 or something. And that was that bike, and now it's just gone, man. Just gone.
Bummer.
Yeah.
They
Womp
make more,
womp.
but
They
bummer.
do. I was looking for them, but I'm like, I'm really not mountain biking a lot anyways. I think if I did, I would probably just hurt myself. But part of me still like wants it to replace it. So I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. The other story it reminds me of about getting distracted and it's weighing on you. When the first day, this was during practice, actually. We went to Hastings and practiced. And on his very first lap, Salil hit one of the many little groundhogs that were running around.
Oh no.
Or like, they're like field squirrels or field mice or something. They're
Yeah.
like bigger squirrels or something. No, smaller squirrels. Anyway, he hit one and he came off the racetrack and he goes, I couldn't focus and I feel really bad. I came through and I killed a little squirrel.
I think I would feel bad
Hog
too.
chipmunk thing. And then the next lap I came by and his wife came out and she was looking for him and looking. And I'm like, you created a narrative? Drive the race car.
Created a narrative.
Yeah.
I feel for Salil though. I think I would feel the same. His wife came out. Like they had a ceremony and they got married.
Yeah. That's the start of a Disney movie with Salil's
Oh
first
no.
session.
It's like this. I could just imagine like the GT3 RS like coming by as like the villain of the movie and all the animals are like cowering in fear.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I already Disney, you could steal it. You could steal it. It's all yours.
Yeah. Back to the topic at hand, though. How did we get on that one? Holy cow.
I think I brought up losing the mountain bike. So
Yeah, I can't find where we were.
yeah, it's fine.
Did you have any other thoughts about this?
Yeah. So part of like the processing disappointment part, like when somebody is going faster than you and you don't understand why, and like part of the frustration on that, don't take that as like this hopeless, I'm never going to figure this thing out. It's just kind of something that you're going to have to start digging into. Like the answer is in there somewhere, whether it's like the data or the video. Like maybe have somebody walk through, because whoever is doing that thing better than you, they could probably watch your video or look at your data and really like just point out like, this is like, that's less than optimal, that's less than optimal, that's less than optimal. If you aren't able to understand why you're missing that time, it's just because you don't have the understanding necessary to get there. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's impossible. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not capable of learning like where that time is. And even if it's pointed out to you, you might not necessarily like, because it's pointed out once, you're like, oh, I understand every single scenario where this possible thing could happen, right?
Sure.
It's just understand that there's more to know and there's more nuance to it that's worth more time than you might think. And like, there's all this stuff to learn about driving and it's just endless. And like, I think maybe I'm well equipped for this like feeling, because I think every single time I hop into a high strength of field, like Porsche Cup race, there's somebody in there that is just like outrageously brilliant behind the wheel. And I have nothing for them. And I don't even know what they're doing better than me. And so I'm exposed to it a lot. But there are tools like virtual racing school or, the replays in the iRacing are really good. And like you can dig in and you can find these things. And what it does is it sets a direction of what your focus should be. Wait, did somebody? Okay, Whitney posted something about like something happening on the highway, and I thought it was involving my bike, but no, it wasn't. Oh my God, everyone almost just saw me have a meltdown on the podcast.
Man arrested. TJ's like,
I'm like, they got the wrong guy. It's me. When you don't post stuff like that, I was literally, everyone was about to just witness me having a meltdown on the podcast if somebody actually did get hurt because of this stupid mountain bike.
Oh no.
Oh God. I hope everyone's okay. Oh God. I'm serious. Anyways, what was I talking about before I thought I committed murder?
Committing to the work.
Yeah.
Like when you don't know there's something to dig into and take from. The thing that this reminds me of, that we've at least hit on in the past, though, it applies to this perfectly, is keeping the measuring stick that you're on as true as possible and then being aware of that as best you can. So the person I always think of that I watched this happen, I watched him put in the work and do the journey like from this point was Darian, because he had an autocross S2000 at the time, and his first co-driver and the person who basically helped him build the car to what it was Robert Thorne, obviously an exceptional autocrosser. And then when Robert moved away, the next person that he had co-drive the car regularly was me. And like, that's another true measuring stick when you have
Yep.
somebody like that in the car. And he was at the point where he's like, I just feel like I'm never going to freaking get this because everybody who drives with me kicks my ass. But he wasn't really aware that it was like the people who were driving with him. He just felt like he was getting beat all the time.
Yeah.
And we had a big conversation over data one night about how you have like this, you have in a way the truest measuring stick you could possibly ask for. Like people would pay for this type of co-driver opportunity and things like that. And like not to feel bad about it, but like this is the situation, the reality of your situation is you're going to have to become one of the most exceptional autocrossers ever to also run with the people who you're bringing in the car all the time.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, that means that you have all the opportunity in the world to measure yourself on the truest measuring stick there is. And the downfall really was that he just wasn't paying attention to the fact that he was getting better because he would still lose by 0.7 or 0.4 or 1.1 seconds some days. Like it was just a little bit kind of right there, but always just outside.
Yeah, dude, honestly, like Peter Schnorr has like the mental fortitude of like a freaking I don't know what animal would have mental fortitude, but like basically like because I'm a moving goalpost. Like I think in the last like 2 or 3 years I've gotten like way better at autocross. And
sure,
like Peter, like if I stayed stagnant, Peter would have passed me already. Like how good I was like 3 years ago, Peter's better than that. But like from like Peter's perspective, and I think he understands this and he's listening right now, so he'll definitely understand it. But like he's getting so exceptional at this autocross thing, but like he's chasing like a moving target because like I'm also trying to get better and better and better at this. But like Peter's been dealing with this for 3 years now, and I hope to like to the best of my ability, when Peter does beat me, like, let's be honest, I'm pissed. I don't want to lose. But from conversations we've had on this podcast, hopefully I take my own advice and like praise Peter up and celebrate like his success and stuff. Cause when he does beat me, like he beat me, like I have no excuse. Like he just beat me. Like he drove better in that, like that particular time. And I hope, Peter, that I hype you up when that happens. Because like I'm never letting anybody win. You know what I mean? I'm like trying to bring it every time. So if you beat me, Peter, you got me. No excuse. Even if my ego is hurt and my feelings are feeling, like you still got me, right? Mm-hmm.
So, and the last part of that is the awareness of that that sort of measuring stick. It's not like you're measuring yourself to like strangers that you don't know, or like if you're new enough and you're like, the measuring stick is the person who wins packs at locals. And then you might go to your first national event and realize that person's like a solid mid packer in like a really competitive class. And then you're like, oh, the measuring stick is different. When you're aware of that, but you put yourself on it fairly, you can see your own growth.
Yeah.
That was where I was going.
Yep. And having access to that data and that like that measuring stick is it's very valuable for like your own journey. And if you're focused on the results, that journey is not going to be very enjoyable. But if you're just focused on being a sponge and going along for the ride and asking questions and being engaged and maybe branching off and doing an event without, getting some SEAL clubbing in, just to remind yourself of your progress. All those things come together for you to keep craving that delicious gourmet ice cream that's like at the top of the list here.
What flavor would the ice cream be?
Oh, what?
That's the big question.
That is the big question.
Oh, crap.
Okay. All right. Everyone sound off in the chat. What's like the best ice cream flavor? What about for you, Tom?
I usually go to something with peanut butter and chocolate.
Really?
Like a peanut butter cup or a peanut butter chip.
You're a peanut butter person?
I love peanut butter.
There's a, I don't know if these ice cream places are everywhere, but there's a place called Mitchell's near us. Is there a Mitchell's near you, Tom?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so it's just like a Cleveland area thing. They have this like berry. You ever have like Edmonton's? Is that how you say it? Like from the grocery store, like a Danish?
Oh, Entenmann's, yes. Yeah.
Entenmann's, that's what it is. They have an ice cream that tastes just like a raspberry Danish,
Wow.
and it has like little chunks in it, little chunky Danish chunks in it. Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's so good.
Huh.
That's good. But really, anything chocolatey will also work.
Do you want to go there before we leave to Finger Lakes this weekend? I can try it.
We could. Are you wait, are you
Well,
coming up to my house?
I have to pass it either way. I'm coming through.
Oh, okay.
But before we get there, the my first job ever was scooping ice cream at like a gourmet ice cream place here
my
in
God.
Cincinnati called Graders. And their famous flavor is black raspberry chip, and it's this dark purple, like electric dark purple ice cream with dark chocolate chunks in it. And they would make it in these giant tubs because it was like what 20+% of people ordered. And to get to the bottom of the tubs, you were like up past your elbow down in the freezer in the bucket, and you would be, by the time your shift is done, your just forearm would be purple, speckled in purple. And the smell of that ice cream after it dried and has been on there for like 2 hours during a shift, oh, it ruined that ice cream forever for me.
I'm over here
So
licking
I
my
can't-
arm.
when you said black raspberry anything, I was like, oh, not an ice cream.
I'm over here like, oh, my arm's never been so delicious. Ah.
No, but
That's
that's my
fun.
favorite one there.
Yeah.
Peanut butter chip.
Okay. All right. It looks like minty chalky chip. I don't know what that is. So just mint chocolate chip. That looks
There's
like
a lot
to
of
be-
mint people in here.
Yeah, a lot of mint people. It is pretty good. It's good in like small quantities, right? Like it's not one of those ice creams that you have to feel like you really got to like eat your own body weight in. You can just have like just a small scoop. You know what's actually, hold on. We got to see what grinds DJ's gears for a second here. You know what annoys me? When I go to an ice cream place and I just want a little tiny container of ice cream because I just want to taste it, but I don't want to feel it, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
Okay. And then they just like put like so much ice cream in this like little container. It's like overflowing out of this container. So I have to eat it at a speed that I can't even enjoy it. And it's too much ice cream. Are these first world problems? I feel like they are.
That's
but
exceptionally first world problem. But I'm kind of with you. You know,
Yeah,
at my
okay.
first job, we had to measure our scoops and weigh them before every shift.
oh my goodness.
Clock in, you go over to the vanilla ice cream, you take a medium scoop and a large scoop, you put them both on a piece of parchment paper and you weigh them both.
And
That was
is,
how we made sure we didn't serve too much.
is that to like calibrate or did you have to do that with each scoop?
What do you mean each scoop? Oh, no. It was not served that way. It was like a beginning of the shift reminder of how to do it.
People in the chat are making fun of me. Danny goes, "Oh no, my steak is too buttery."
Yeah.
Look, guys, I'm sure. Look, the people making fun of me, you know what I'm talking about. You guys are just finding an opportunity to make fun.
Yeah.
Everyone shares my plight. I swear I'm not on an island on this one.
Actually, a lot of people really love ice cream. They're never going to turn down more. And you're bitching about it. I think you're on an island, man.
I'm not bitching about it. I'm just saying too much is too much. I just wanted to enjoy a little, you know, some snacky snacks. I didn't want to feel like I had a second meal after date night or whatever. So
Here's what you should do. You go up and you just ask for like 4 different samples.
Ooh,
And then
and then
by
I
the
go,
4th one, you're like,
"Yeah."
I think I actually don't want anything. You walk out.
That would be perfect. Actually, can I have my 4th sample of the raspberry Danish whatever? Okay. Actually, on second thought, I'm not gonna have any, and then I leave. That'd be perfect.
It's called an ABCA test, man. I got to run the science on this.
There's a lot of
Nah, I don't want any more.
yeah.
I'm good.
There's a lot of Mitchells in the area, so like this might work. I might be able to cycle through them strategically so they don't forget or like so they don't remember.
It's true.
Yep. I'll like grow my beard out for like the next round and then like
How often do you get ice cream?
oh, not very often, but in this hypothetical scenario all the time.
Every day. Yeah, okay, got it.
I think that's basically it for the topic. Let me see if there was anything that there was not in here. Oh, one last thing. if you are co-driving with somebody and you're finding it hard to get access to the data or the video or whatever, take it in your own hands. Run your own video, run your own data, right? You could do these things on your own so you're not beholden to the person who has these things for your own improvement. Like you have to take your own responsibility for like being able to extract those differences.
Yep. Have you had that happen before? I'm not a big data autocross person, so I've never asked for it before.
I think together, me and Peter were pretty bad at getting video. Uh,
Okay.
so I just had to put it on my face, and then I got
Yeah,
video for
okay.
like the whole year. Because then I would
That
be
makes
like,
sense.
and then I can't forget about it because it's like right here. And I'm like, oh, better turn that bad boy on, or I'm not going to be able to review this afterwards.
Right.
Right. I I think I think I've gotten better at video. I felt like very obligated to get video because I told Tamara that I would. Um, even though she had video as well. So like that's an example. Tamara took it into her own hands. She's like,
Yep.
I'm gonna also get video. So we had like a camera on the outside of the car, but then I had mine secured to the headrest. And like if getting the video or the data, is going to be part of that the processing disappointment, like having that scenario where you think you did a good job, but then somebody showed you that there was a better job to be done, then make sure that you've taken the the precautions, or not precautions, but like the measures to make sure that you will have the information to not be at a loss. Because that
Yep.
helps. That helps under like just having something, a direction or an idea of what you need to be focusing on or working on, like that makes it feel so much better when you're at a loss for like why you're going slower than somebody when you like what I said, when you thought you were doing a good job and then
Yeah.
evidence came to light that you actually weren't.
Well, and to your point with the collaboration and stuff, for the most part, people who are making the effort to have that type of stuff are also so happy to share it. The only place I could never really get data anytime I wanted it was, other than pro racing, you obviously can't get other people's data hardly ever, but GLTC was a little tough at times to get like collaborative sharing data. But we had 6 cars in our tent, so we just did it that way with us.
Yeah.
Um, I wandered. Basically, if you give yourself the tools, you'll find other people who can help you, give you a measuring stick, even if you're the only one with your car or whatever.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. You could share
Yeah.
like in the class. I bet if I asked McKelvey to share data and we could compare together. I bet he would. Like Daniel was like an open book the whole weekend. And dude, honestly, hold on, I'm gonna go on a little Daniel rant real quick. That dude is so freaking good at autocross. He's just so locked in and also just like really friendly. like like
Yeah.
me and Tamara were caught in the rain and we were running and he like opened the van door and was like, "Get in." Like it was like basically like get into the chopper. Um and like then like we had shelter with like Lori and Taylor and Daniel like while we just like waited out this like huge storm that came through. Because
Yeah.
Tamara and I were like, we have time to walk the course one more time, and the next thing you know, we're like running for our lives. We could hear the rain hitting the pavement behind us, and we're just like running and like because
Oh my god.
dude, we outran it for a little while, but in like the last 10 seconds, it like started to get us. And then that's when that van door like was open and it gave us some safe haven. We would have been pretty soaked if it wasn't for the hospitality of the McKelveys. So thank you, Lori and Daniel. We appreciate it. And Lori made us food. And honestly, when I was feeling pretty ragged on Monday, yeah, it's they took care. So thanks.
Yep. They're
Yeah.
good people.
Yep. Very good
I had
people.
so much fun. You know how anytime you know someone's really quick, whatever discipline, like you get maybe into a sim race and like someone joins you and you're the only other one that knows that they're really fast, and then
Yeah.
everyone else gets to have the like, who is this
Who's
person
this
moment.
person? You're like, I
And then the
know.
best is like the cherry on top to make it about yourself is like you get to be the one to tell them like, oh yeah, they're awesome. They're
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good. Like you watch out for that one. That's my friend. You got to watch out for them. I got to have that moment with Daniel so many times on one lap because he was running in the top 10 every single track, sometimes top 5 in that BMW. And they're like, who's this BMW? I'm like, he's one of the best autocrossers ever. I got to say that to so many people. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
go Daniel. You're
You know,
impressing everybody.
you know that cone dodging thing? Yeah, he's one of the best at it, and
Yeah.
he's whooping your ass.
You should remember him.
I feel bad because I didn't realize he did one lap last year, and because I was also doing one lap,
Mhm.
and I like mentioned something along the lines of like, "Oh yeah, one lap last year," like oh you should have been there, or something along those lines, where I like just like straight foot meets mouth, and Daniel was like, "Yeah, I was there," and I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't even notice. I'm so sorry." In my defense, I'm I'm really focused on Peter when I'm at different Peter Lear this time around. I'm focused on like the competition and Peter and all that stuff. So like, sorry Daniel that I didn't know you were there, but uh, yeah, but it, good people, really fun. I'm glad that I get to compete with them for the rest of the year. I wish we lived closer because they're in Seattle. Wish I got to compete
Yeah.
against them more. So Daniel or Lori, if you're listening to this and you guys want to do like a fly and drive, I'm sure we could find you some CST cars to party in.
Dude, people from those that area love. Do they still do Packwood? Or do they lose Packwood?
I think Packwood's still a thing. Is it on the calendar?
Because
I'm not
people
even
up
sure.
there love to get people up to Packwood.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, fly in. We'll find you something.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Go drive with Lugod.
I might be down.
Matchmaking.
I might be down. John, you down?
Ah,
Well, he's John's driving with his fiance, or are they married? Have you guys been married yet? I'm not sure. We're not going to cover this on the podcast, but uh, I I I could probably find a ride. I don't know. I'm kind of running out of vacation time here, so I don't know.
got a whole week of it back.
Yeah, I've already like kind of spent it.
What other excuses you got for me to poke a hole in?
That's where Spring Nats came into play. I wouldn't have been able to
Oh,
do
okay.
Spring Nats if one lap didn't get canceled for me. So
Yeah, gotcha.
yeah. But all right, I think that's basically the topic there. Tom, what are you doing this weekend?
We're teaching a Lizard Brains autocross school.
Bum, bum, bum.
Finger Lakes Region SCCA up in Finger Lakes, New York.
Should be.
What are you doing this weekend?
Tom, I am also teaching a Lizard Brain school at Finger Lakes. Are we doing the same thing? That's fun.
That would be so fun. Are you sticking around for Sunday to drive the local event?
I am. I kind of forgot about the fact of finding a car to drive. So
I just thought of it in this moment right now.
so if somebody has a car for Tom and I to drive, maybe even together, maybe we drive like a CSM Mustang and like Cam or something like against each other. Like I'd be kind of down for that. Would you be down for that, Tom?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Maybe shoot us some offers and so we have something to drive on Sunday. Either that or we're gonna just leave Sunday morning, I guess. I don't know. Like if we don't have anything to
I
drive.
don't want to just leave. Yeah, I hope we don't just leave.
I'm
But
sure
so
we'll find
so our
something.
school, this is the second one we've done. We're open to more, but they're really difficult to plan. Where a region hosts a test and tune, and we put on a school within the test and tune. So we don't have to do anything operationally. We don't have to have our own equipment or anything. It works perfect. We set up like we don't do anything special like the autocross schools do. We just use a course,
Yep.
and it worked really well. So we're doing another one of those.
Yep. We just we'll jump in your car, point out some low hanging fruit, have some conversations about how that would happen, and then we'll jump into the next car, do the same thing. And it got well received last time around, and we're thankful for Finger Lakes for having us out.
Yep.
So
I haven't autocrossed since national. One lap doesn't count. I haven't autocrossed since nationals. I think. I always hope I remember. It always comes back quick. Like
you a little nervous about it?
it's imprinted on my brain how to autocross. I think I don't believe I will ever lose that skill unless I physically lose capabilities. But I do have the thought, like, man, I'm teaching a school and I haven't done this in 6 months. It crosses my mind sometimes for sure.
I had the thought of like, man, because the last school we did, I had kind of the same thought. I was like, damn, this is like the most autocrossing I've done in a while. Was the last time we did the school, and like you were just dialed in for whatever reason. I forget why. That's because Tom's always dialed in. But this time at the school, like I'm gonna be like, I just autocross for 5 days straight. So like I'm gonna be like so tuned in. And I kind of like the test and tune kind of turned into like a little Lizard Brain school for a moment there. So I already got some reps in, so I'm ready, Tom.
Hell
It would
yeah.
be
It's all
fun.
you. I'm going to follow your lead.
Oh no, I don't like that. No, we follow Tom's lead at the school.
No.
Oh, guys, you're hearing it here first. The school is leaderless.
Carlton will run it. Shit.
Oh,
Just pop
dang it.
hoods in parking lot.
All right, well, the first thing we got to do here is we got to inspect under the hood and make sure that this thing has a properly working engine. Hell yeah.
Thanks, Carlton. Appreciate it. All right. Do you want to call that the
Point
show?
at stuff under there. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Good topic. Good catch up.
All right. Yeah, that was fun. And thank you to everyone at Spring Nats this weekend that came up and said nice things about the show. Really appreciate that. And it's sometimes you forget that people actually listen to this thing. So when you guys come up and tell us about the
So
show, it's nice. So
Yeah.
I had one gentleman who I'm blanking on their name, and I'm very sorry, but they came up and was like your mindset that you talk about on the podcast is literally the mantra for my life. And I was like, hell yeah. And we like shared a high five. So that was cool.
That's cool.
So, all right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, hold on. I lost track of where the button is. Here it is.
The sweet tunes of Bon Appetit. But remember, if you're out there on the journey and you're looking for the result, the journey is the best part. I love your hair and I hope you win. I forgot how that's supposed to end. Jesus.